Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play, the home for strategy, tactics, and more. If you haven't subscribed already, now's your chance. In this video, I'm going to continue playing War of the Austrian Succession. In the last video, I went through just kind of the basic controls and just how to move units around and do basic attacks. And in this video, I'm going to try to play out this full battle. This is the getting started scenario. It's the tutorial scenario for the game. And it's just a hypothetical battle where we are controlling the forces on the left here, the French, and we're fighting some British forces on the right here. And we're on the anti-pragmatic side, they're on the pragmatic side of the conflict. Looking at the battlefield here, we are on the attack. We need to try to take these three flag markers and flip them to our side. These two are worth 50 points and this one's worth 100. I've played this battle a few times to kind of get some more experience with the game and get a little better, and I'm a little better, but we'll see how it goes this time. I haven't managed a major victory yet, just a minor victory a couple times. So just generally speaking, our strategy here is going to be to advance with our infantry. We've got a few brigades here, and we're going to advance kind of along the left side of our flank here and straight up the middle towards this hilltop. We can change the view like this and kind of get a different visual on it, but I found that I like playing at this level because it's very clean and clear what you're looking at. So yeah, we are infantry. We have a heavy artillery battery and then a couple regular ones here, and then we've got some light cavalry up here and some heavy cavalry down there. So one of the keys to this battle I've found is using these heavy cavalry effectively, getting a good charge with them at the enemy. And if you manage that, you can knock aside a big chunk of their line, and if you screw it up, you'll just get all these guys wiped out. And the victory conditions in this battle, taking the objectives is part of it, but also the more losses you take, that eats into your points. So you want to try to avoid taking excessive casualties. So we'll start with I'll hit Control A to bring up the artillery dialogue. I like to use this to kind of see all the available targets for our artillery all at the same time. And while it's tempting to always shoot at the enemy artillery, try to hope you knock out one of their guns. That's kind of like rolling the dice. So for this opening salvo, we're going to hit this lone infantry regiment up here in the front and try to get it to break and run, or at least be disordered so our infantry can advance without it getting in the way. So we got a few hits on them, and then we'll see what happens to them. And then this unit of infantry here, this leader, he kind of goes with the light cavalry up here, and then he's got a light infantry regiment that's like I guess it's still a regiment, or if it's a brigade of light infantry, but it's bigger than the other infantry brigades or other infantry regiments. But we are going to reform those skirmishers that were out in front of it, reform them into the full unit. And then one thing I kind of like to do when I'm on this scenario is move this light units up and out of the way, and then have them cross the river onto the flank here. And we'll bring the cavalry up. Hold down Alt to have them all move at the same time. And that causes them to become disordered when you cross the river. But the idea, at least for me, my strategy is to send them across the river. They get disordered, but then they have a couple turns to reorganize themselves. And then really the goal is to have them go sit out here on the far flank and cause the British to be worried about them, therefore weakening their front line up here, which hopefully we'll see if that happens. Now I'll hold shift to move these guys in formation. These will get stuck because they can't pass through where the heavy battery is, but we'll just go around. And then this also clears the way for my infantry to move up, because one thing on this battle is that with the rivers on each side, it gets a little congested here in the middle because you've got so many infantry units. You can't really get them all on the line at the same time. And then we'll bring these guys up behind them. Kind of second wave. And then want to try to keep them organized, keep the leaders close to their units. Bring up our supply wagon. Kind of like to work from the top down so I don't miss anybody. And then this is the like bigger infantry brigade. They're going to be the core of my force for attacking the hilltop here. But usually they're going to get a little disorganized, and then we will reorganize them on the next turn. And then the heavy cavalry. I'll gather them up and move them down here to kind of get positioned to try to make a charge a couple turns in, depending on how things go. The heavy cavalry are armed only with swords, so they're no good for any kind of ranged combat. The light cavalry do have carbines. They only have range 1, but they can shoot or go into melee. The heavy cavalry are strictly melee. They are very strong. If you manage to hit a disorganized enemy infantry unit, you can knock them out of their position and hopefully rout a big chunk of the enemy line. But if you mess up, these guys will just get wiped out, so got to be careful with them. Okay, and then we'll pull up that supply wagon too, and then move these. These are kind of the higher level leaders. I can move them up a little bit just to get them behind the line there. And then I don't think we can do anything else here. Now melee turn, no one's in melee range, so we'll just let them have their turn. Now one thing I've noticed the AI just playing this battle several times is that the AI does do different things every time, so it's never the same battle. Even if you try the same strategy every time, it plays out a little bit differently because the AI will play a little differently every time. Alright, so one of our cavalry did get reorganized, that's good. And then the infantry, actually I crossed them this turn. They can shoot across the water once they get up here. If we want to add them to our far flank, it can be handy. I'm going to have them just kind of out here waiting in the wings to just threaten this position, force them to either dedicate some units to hold here, try to hold them off, or if they move up, then they can come in behind and maybe cause some trouble. Then here we'll reform the line. Alright, taking a little fire, that's okay, that's expected. We will have our artillery try to help us out. And then the heavy battery, I'll go ahead and try to hit their guns while they're moving around, see if we get lucky. Since their batteries only have like 4 or 5 guns, so if you manage to knock one out, that's pretty good. Alright, we're going to close in, get into the fight. And in these battles, this is, the era of line warfare, and you are going to take a lot of casualties no matter what you do, so that's just part of it. And then these guys will be behind them, and then hopefully we can push this guy out of the way and kind of angle one brigade this way and the other brigade right down the middle, and then these guys up the hill. And then I'll try to reform my line here. Get ready to push up the hill. And then always remember to bring the supply wagons up, because your guys can run out of ammo if the supply wagon's not around to try to resupply them. And then heavy cavalry move up here on the flank. We'll get them ready, charge up the hill, because there's no one on the hill right now, but they'll probably get on there before we can get to them. Okay, I think everyone's moved, and then we can hit this to see who's fired. No one else is really in range to fire at anything. We'll end the turn there. Now, we could go for a melee here. They're disordered. Might go ahead and try for it, try to knock them out of our way since they're disordered. And if we have our leader here, adding the leader to the melee does help a little bit. It risks losing your leader, but we'll be optimistic here at the beginning. Alright, so yeah, kind of even casualties, but we do push them back, and they're now in a worse state, so they've been pushed back. Alright, they routed, nice. Alright, this unit came around the corner of the hill here where we couldn't see it. Alright, yeah, as expected. They weren't going to let us just walk right up there. And okay, so we got a couple reinforcements arriving this turn. And then, yeah, they've arrived here on the hilltop to try to slow us down. That's okay. We knew that was probably going to happen. Move these cavalry up, get them kind of in position to charge when the time comes. And then when the leader is on the space, you can't see the facing on the map here, but if you look right here, you can see the facing. So we'll go ahead and turn them. They don't have enough. Well, they should have enough. Oh yeah, gotta select them. Okay, and then use the hotkeys to do the facing movements. Alright, we got them pointed in the right direction. They'll be ready to go when the opportunity presents itself. You gotta wait till the right moment. Alright, so we'll do a little artillery and think about where we're going to try to hit. The heavy battery can hit down here on the line, so I like to hit the flank here. And then both of these can hit this one right in the middle. Try to hit that middle. And then these guys routed, which is nice. They could rally and come back, but good to send them routing first before any of our guys do. And we'll let those guys sit still since they're disordered. These guys are still disordered. And we'll send these up just to kind of scout, see if they can see anything. If you hit V, you can see what they see, so you can't see all the way back into here. We can expect there's some more units back there, but we'll wait to move up until we got our full force ready to go. Move our supply wagons up. And then, yeah, here's where it gets kind of constricted. I've got all these units, but getting them up on the line where they can fight is the tricky part. They become disordered. Sometimes just moving a unit can cause them to become disordered or have problems, so that's okay. Alright, and then we'll move up that brigade there. And then these guys are a little out of order to start, that's okay. Gotta put the pressure on right here. If we can get them disordered, then our cavalry can come and knock them out, and then maybe, hopefully, push them back. If you can rout the enemy into other enemy units, then you can potentially cause a string of routes, which is perfect, but not always, you just don't want it to happen to your guys. I'll creep my cavalry up a little bit so they're a little closer. And then use this to highlight who's fired and who hasn't. And then, yeah, go ahead and move these guys up a little. Try to force them right here in the middle. Send those guys running. Well, maybe not. No effect. Alright, got a couple. And believe me when I say I'm not the expert at this game. I've just played this scenario a few times, and hopefully I've gotten a little better at it. And I could move them up, but I'm worried they might get a little out of position, so I'll just hold the line there and call that good for the moment. Alright, so we get some reinforcements, a couple more regiments back here. Have them come up the road. Not gonna melee because these guys aren't disordered yet. Don't want to melee while they're still in good order, or you're just asking to take casualties and wipe out your own units. Take a couple heavy hits right there. Alright, lots of shooting up and down the line now. We're fully engaged. Man, it's kind of random a little bit how many casualties get inflicted, but you hate to see lose a couple dozen guys in one volley, and then they take one loss. Alright, alright, so we had one unit rout. That's not good. Man, they cover a lot of ground when they're routing. But, well, we got a reserve right there to pull up behind them. Try to get some revenge. Yep, nothing. These guys are in order now, so we'll have them come up, provide a little support. And then our cavalry back here. Gonna have them just kind of scout, see what they can see. Nope. They crossed that was my mistake. Crossed the river instead of crossing the road there. There is an undo move button, but it doesn't seem, I don't know if I have the rule turned on or something for me to make it work. It doesn't ever seem to work for me. Yeah, that was a misclick. Should have had them go here, then over. So now they're disordered again. But that's okay. Alright, artillery. Let's see where they can help us. Alright, so we'll fire the end of the line there. And then we're going to hit the hilltop down here. Alright, now we'll go up and down the line. Bring the supply wagon up low. sometimes your guys can fire over the head of the line in front of them if it's going uphill. Now we're gonna, yeah, these guys. Try to concentrate fire up there. And then this unit, since it's close in. Not inflicting a lot of casualties, but hopefully whittling them down. Alright, still none of them disordered just yet, so we won't send the cavalry charging up the hill. But we might maneuver them. Trying to get, maybe, ideally, charge them up there. Maybe charge, take those cannons. Maybe have just some great luck. And maybe not. I've had it go both ways. Alright, let's see if I missed anybody firing. If these guys can hit anything. Yep. One more volley up the hill there. Okay. And then these guys, don't forget to move them up. They're just a couple regiments, but we'll probably need them here shortly. See which end they need to go to. And then, oh yeah, good. We got a whole nother brigade here. Alright, not gonna melee. We're not in good shape for that just yet. Let's see what the British do. Oh, nice. Cannon support. Man, that is like a cursed spot right there. They keep taking tons of casualties. Oh, melee? Ah, nice. That was close. That was like, we held by like one man on that. Okay, only two units checked for routing, so that's promising. Yeah, those guys held out against their attack, so now they're disordered and in a mess. These guys are too, but maybe these guys. Ooh, they only have 300 in their unit there. We might swap them out. And then these guys are still routed up here, so we can't do anything with them. But we maybe could stroll up here. Nope, okay, and see that they've got some more light cavalry back here in the back. I don't know if it's a wise move to send them up there by themselves, but they've only got light cavalry too, so they can't easily knock them off. Alright, artillery support. And then I found that you gotta have all three of those light cavalry squadrons on the objective to take it. Okay, so we could hit, yeah, I like hitting those guys on the flank there. And then the hilltop again. Okay, good, they're disordered. These guys are not yet, but we'll try to change that. Now, yeah, I like to just go down the line doing all my shooting to try not to miss anybody. Yeah, this turn might be the big turn where either goes great or goes terrible, since the enemy they got some units disordered down the line. Alright, I think everyone's fired who can fire. And this is probably be our moment of truth, make or break on this battle. Bring these guys up in the middle. Not sure where we'll need them, but we'll need them for sure. And yeah, so time to... I'd like to charge those cannons right there, but I know these guys are here just waiting to fire into me, but if I could charge all these guys up the hill, who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll go for it. Go big or go home. See if we can charge and sweep them off the hill here and just charge right through their line and break them. But might not. Might be a disaster. But we're going to select these guys, set them to charging. No, well, or not. They became disordered. One of them did. One's going to go for it. Oh, but now they're not pointed the right way. Oh no. It's okay. These guys, they're ready. They'll go there. They'll go there. They'll go there. Yeah, already taken 16 casualties charging at those cannons. Alright, and then it's kind of tricky. You got to remember to charge during the move and fire phase, charge, move into position, then on the melee turn, melee phase, do the actual melee. And then these guys are disordered. So my infantry are pretty disordered too. I might not try to melee with them. Might just hope for the cavalry to get it done. Alright, so we'll go for it. Let's see what happens. This one should be a win for sure. Alright, and then your cavalry, whenever they attack and charge successfully, they can keep going. So we'll... And then in this case, it kind of puts them in danger because it puts them right in the line of the enemy. We might try to charge these guys simultaneously. Nice. Knock them off the hill. Now they're in a big mess here. They're going to take some casualties, but hopefully they make it in there and knock them off the hill too. Awesome. So now we've jacked up their line, pushed them into each other, and then we'll keep going. Now these guys are not disordered, but how can you not hit them in the flank and just try for it? Nice. Knock them off the objective. Force them back. And then we captured these cannons here. But we're going to keep on rolling. Now this might be where we get overly ambitious, but sent them packing too. Alright, we'll just keep it going. And And yeah, that, they're taking a beating. Okay, we got stopped there. Okay, and these guys could keep going, chasing into them. Might be where we're gonna overstep. Yeah, okay. Well, that was, we're gonna say that that was pretty good. Now we'll see if they counterattack and beat us back. But can't argue with, yeah, three columns of cavalry charging up the hill and just knocking them out of position, disordering a ton of units, getting them stacked up all on each other. We'll hope for that being pretty good. Alright, the enemy's got some reinforcements down here. So we'll pull some of our infantry, probably pull these guys down to cover. They got to come across that river to come at us and to come uphill. A little skirmish with our light cavalry over there. Sent them running, but we'll, yeah, that was being a little overly ambitious. Left them by themselves. So 8 units were, or we had 13 units disordered, 8 rallied, so that's good, or came reorganize themselves. And only 1 unit routed, so not bad. And then back to us, so puts us in a pretty good position here. We've got multiple enemy units routing, tons of them disordered. We are in a pretty good spot right here. So I might pause the video here for the first part, just for it to not be overly long, and then we'll come back in the next part and try to finish this battle out. Yeah, pretty exciting right there. Get that big cavalry charge up the hill, and it actually went pretty well. Might have overextended just a little. But we can pull these guys back now. The survivors can pull back, and then our infantry, hopefully we can sweep up the hill. If we can take that objective and then keep the pressure up here and maybe get to that one, we could have it in the bag. We've got some enemy reinforcements down here to worry about, but we got our own reinforcements covering up that can fill the gaps and cover the flank. Alright, so if you want to see how this battle concludes next time, be sure to hit subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. We'll see you shortly.